Hello students, you are learning 5th unit soil. Now you are going to learn remaining part, that is soil erosion. About soil erosion, the removal of the top layer of the soil either naturally or as a result of human activities is called soil erosion. Loss of the topmost layer adversely affects the fertility of the soil. Here the soil erosion. Soil erosion means here the as by particles washing over it, the soil would lost its fertility. So that is soil erosion. But how it happens? That is the removal of the top layer of the soil. So here see, you can see, for example, this is soil erosion. How happening this? This soil will remove of the top layer of the soil either naturally or as a result of human activities is called soil erosion. So this soil erosion will happen naturally. How you can, for example, that the due to heavy rainfall, that strong winds blow. When you take that heavy rainfall, that time the water flowing its own way very fast. That time the water carrying that soil with water and it throw another place, isn't it? So that time the soil lost its fertility, isn't it? The next one more, that naturally the strong winds blow. That time the soil also it will flow, it will fly in the air and then it will go one place to another place. So like this naturally that soil lost its fertility, that like this it will remove of the top layer of the soil by naturally. And also the result of human activities, that is, for example, that human activities like cutting down of the trees, overgrazing of animals by animals. So like this the soil it lost its fertility and it will remove that soil from top layer of the soil, isn't it? So topmost layer adversely, so that the loss of the topmost layer adversely affects the fertility of the soil. So like this the topmost layer it lost its fertility badly, uh, lost its fertility, that affects, that is the fertility of the soil. When the soil lost its fertility, then that soil is not used to grow crops, to use to good crops, isn't it? To get good crops. So it is what soil erosion. Next, causes of soil erosion. Running water carries away the upper layer of the soil and leaves and the land barren. See, causes of soil erosion. What is the cause? Is how it will happen, that the running water, already to do that, then the due to heavy rainfall, that time the running water carries away the upper layer of the soil, isn't it? So it leaves and the land barren. So see that time running water on that soil, that top layer of the soil, that time the even the soil also moving with the water, that time it lost its upper layer, and after that it remains live like barrens, that is unfertile land, that is a wasteland. You can see here that is, it is totally looks like a wasteland. There is no use, because if there is no use fertile soil, we can't grow anything, isn't it? These are causes of the soil erosion. Next, the strong winds blow away the top layer of the soil. Probably deserts were formed in this way. In strong winds, you can see already we have learnt in second lesson that Indian desert areas, we can see there is a lot of sand, no? That often they are blowing strong winds in that place. Some mountains also disappear. We couldn't say that particular place in that area, because often blowing strong winds, that mountains they form one place to another place. So like this the top layer of the soil also it will lost, probably in a desert area. You know that they form in this way, no? So that is the example for that soil erosion. Next, third one, that is human activities like cutting down of trees and overgrazing by animals also lead to soil erosion. If their human activities, their living place on that, and waste and throwing waste things and dirty things, if you make dirty place, that soil will lost its fertility. And overgrazing of by animals and cutting down trees. If often you're cutting down trees, then the trees couldn't hold that soil with its roots, isn't it? So it will lost. Then soil will can easily flow with water, and also overgrazing by animals. Often the animals like goat, sheep, buffalo, some other animals often eating that plants, grass, things, no? So that time what will happen, that soil also it will lost its fertility, isn't it? So these are the causes of soil erosion, isn't it? Next we learn effects of soil erosion. If the effects of the soil erosion, what will happen, you can see here. The first one, the soil erosion reduces the fertility of the soil. Here the soil erosion reduces means that it make less the fertility of the soil. If the soil it lost its fertility, if this less the fertility, then it is no use to grow crops, isn't it? It is totally waste soil, isn't it? Next, farmers are not able to grow crops and become poorer day by day, and even the farmers also they wouldn't grow crops because that because they lost its fertility, so they will not interest to grow crops because of that soil day by day become poorer, totally it lost its fertility, so that soil is not useful for grow crops. So this effects of soil erosion, like this the effects of the soil erosion. Next, ways to prevent soil erosion. Ways to prevent means how to protect the soil erosion. First point here about we should plant more trees and ensure that trees are not cut down carelessly. We should grow more plants surrounding of trees or plants surrounding of our ground, garden and environment. If we are growing more trees, that it will help us that we couldn't it couldn't lost its soil erosion. So when that heavy rainfall or strong winds, however they can blow, but that trees, plants would help the soil to washing away, isn't it? And also should not cut trees carelessly. We should not cut down trees carelessly. If you're cutting trees, then we will lost. So it will happen soil erosion. So we should, instead of that, we should grow more trees and plants surrounding of our environment and fields, gardens, like this, isn't it? How we should build that the fields, that embankments, the compounds surrounding of our house, like this we have to build we should grow more trees and plants. And next, embankments should be built around the fields. Embankments, that is support, we should protect, should be built that around the fields. How we built compounds surrounding of our house, so like this it will protect our house, that compound, like this the trees and plants could help to protect the soil erosion, isn't it? Next, terrace farming in hilly areas prevent soil from being washed away by running water. Terrace farming also in hilly areas, so it also could prevent, it will protect the soil from being washed away by running water. For example, you can see in this picture how this is terrace farming, how that people working in that field, in that farm. So these crops could not allow to wash away. This terrace farming could help that soil being washed away from the fields, so that crop would help to protect that soil to being washed away from the water, isn't it? So this is what terrace farming, isn't it? Thank you for kind listening.